Good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and get started with the meeting. Dr. Crenshaw is on a business trip this afternoon, so he won't be with us. So is Ms. Chambers. So Quentin's in charge. We got the memo from Ms. Chambers that he's in charge. So
Whether he knows it or not.
if something messes up, y'all look at Quentin. But anyway,
Be on TV.
Stringfellow, would you lead us in prayer and the pledge?
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to meet this evening. Please guide our deliberations with wisdom as we conduct the business of Mobile County. Please bless our administrative staff and our superintendent as they make plans for the upcoming school year. And Heavenly Father, we ask for you to put your hand and guide our first responders and our military personnel as they represent and protect us around the world. These things we ask in thy name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just failed to mention one thing before we started. We started about 4 minutes late in honor of Dr. Crenshaw, so y'all make sure y'all tell him that. But yeah, put that in the minutes. All right, approval of the minutes. Everybody,
Move for approval of vice minutes.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Agenda adoption.
Before you adopt the agenda, I'd like to call your attention to, there was an addition on the agenda G12. It's a contract between Mobile County Public School System and the Mobile County Training School Alumni Association to provide a summer sports camp at Mobile County Training School. The cost of this is $3,000, and it's funds that were accrued from the Plains Pipeline. So it'll be, this begins on on July the 2nd. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to look it up. Okay. 18th through the, okay. I'll get the date for it. I'm sorry, I don't have it. I thought I had it written down, but I don't.
Any other? All right, got a motion?
I move for approval of the agenda.
Second.
Have a motion and second approval of agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any announcements?
I have
could-
one.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
did, I'm sorry.
Cutting his phone off.
Go ahead, Doc.
I have one. Just wanted to bring this to people's attention that some years ago when I was principal at Hutchins, I had a young man in the first grade there who is the son of a good friend of mine, a person who used to work for the school system. And week before last, when they had the baseball draft, he was drafted in the third round from the University of Alabama, where he was on scholarship, by the Pittsburgh Pirates. And so he reported to Pittsburgh this past week. Casey Houston is the young man's name, and his mother used to work for the system, Patty Houston, and his dad, Phil Houston, is a friend of mine who I've known for a long time. And just an outstanding young man, and he was also on he was the SEC academic baseball player of the month or whatever it was when he was at Alabama, or he was on that particular, the roster of those who were recognized. So kids who do well and who are smart and who receive scholarships and things like that, sometimes we don't hear about them later on, but in this case, I just wanted that to be part of the record.
That's great.
Go ahead.
Ms. Peak, I'd like to also say in my journeys around the school system here since school has been out, want to compliment your staff. It seems like summer school has transitioned in really well. I know they were hard at work at the schools that I were in registering, but it seems to, we got a goodly number of them in my district where they are, but kudos to you and Ms. Moore and her staff. It looks like it's going really well.
I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't. So I will just say thank you to Ms. Moore and the Academic Affairs staff. They've all worked as a close team to get that done, so thank you.
That's right.
Anything, Mr. Roberts?
Yes, sir.
Reports and recognitions? I don't think we have any tonight, but Mr. Speaker, I'd like to say, we were down at the board members conference this past weekend, and it was very informative. I think we spent most of our time trying to learn about charter schools, so we're looking forward to when we all get to sit down and talk about that. So it enlightened me a lot about it, so I'm sure it did the other guys too. So just wanted to let y'all know that we was down there, and we did go to class.
Well, good.
Most of us went to class. all
We
the
will
time.
we will give you a test.
I don't know if I did my homework yet, but I did go to class.
The superintendent's conference is taking place right now, and I was there this morning. It's at the Grand Hotel in Point Clear. And the session today that I was in dealt with charter schools. So that seems to be the main topic right now.
I think it's the young lady at the last little class I went to. She said it's here, and it's not going to change. It's a law, and she went back to some past things that we probably didn't think was the best for the system, and they're laws now. So we might as well just get prepared. So, matter of fact, our last thing says buckle up. So we're going to buckle up and address the issue. So anyway, looking forward to the meeting with you on that.
Okay.
One other thing that I forgot to mention too, but two of our board members, courtesy of the Lagniappe, the Lagniappe gives awards to political persons about this time of the year, or has voting about this time of the year, and two of our people are in competition for this award, Dr. Crenshaw and Mr. Stringfellow. It's called the Nappie Award, N-A-P-P-I-E, after the Lagniappe, and it's the it's the hardest working board member in Mobile County, and I think they're taking into consideration all boards. I'm not sure. But you could vote for either one of those if you'd like by going online and doing so. Laura and I did that today. We voted, and we just happened to find out about it in a strange sort of way. But it is some recognition for our board that two of our board members would be nominated as the hardest working board members in Mobile County. So I thought I'd mention that too.
Dr. Foster, I would like to say that I think that, appreciate the kind words. I was shocked. I didn't know what was going on. But I think all of our board members worked real hard and for our district and as a whole, and it would be wonderful to have our whole board represented like that. But thanks again. I appreciate that.
Anything else?
Well, it's obvious to Lagniappe, the two who are out front of all the boards in Mobile County. And
I
so
look
those of
forward to
you out
going-
there, go online and vote for one of these two. Crenshaw, of course, is absent, but you can still, y'all know what he looks like. We'll get a cutout of him the next time and put it up here so that, but anyhow, I just thought I would mention that.
It'd be interesting how the two voted after spending a few days with him and Laura. They're like,
Yeah, we split our ticket.
anyway, okay. Citizens' request. Anybody? I don't think we have any today, so Ms. Peak, action items.
Action item 1, the state auditors are required to make a presentation regarding the most current audit, and that's the fiscal year 14 audit. And so at that time,
Oh, Tommy's got it.
Everybody jumped, huh?
Good afternoon. I'm Ashley Carlisle with the Examiners of Public Accounts. In accordance with the provisions of Act Number 2006-196, commonly referred to as School Fiscal Accountability Act, We are here to present our audit report on the Mobile County Board of School Commissioners covering the period October 1st, 2013 through September 30th, 2014. We conducted our audit in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards and government auditing standards for the purposes of rendering an opinion on the financial statements and to determine whether the board complied with applicable laws and regulations. We also conducted an audit of the board's federal financial assistance programs in accordance with the provisions of OMB Circular A-133, Audits of State and Local Governments. We issued an unmodified opinion on the board's financial statements as of and for the period ended September 30th, 2014. This means that the financial statements are presented fairly in accordance with the generally accepted accounting principles. We also noted no matters to indicate that the board had not complied in all material respects with applicable laws and regulations. In addition, we issued an unmodified opinion on the board's major federal financial assistance programs. The board's major federal financial assistance programs were the Child Nutrition Cluster, Title I, and Improving Teacher Quality State Grants. We did, however, note the following matters and have included them as audit findings on the schedule of state and local compliance and other findings as shown on page D of our report. 2014-1 indicates that adequate documentation was not retained to support all purchases at Nan Gray Davis Elementary, Callaway Smith Middle, and Citronelle High Schools. In addition, expenditures were not properly coded at Callaway Smith Middle School. 2014-2 indicates that reports of sales of tickets for athletic events were not always filled out properly at Callaway Smith Middle School. In addition, the revenues collected from ticket sales were not reconciled to the deposits made for ticket sales. 2007-2 indicates that proper receipting procedures were not followed by various teachers at Citronelle High School. We have included on the schedule of state and local compliance and other findings recommendations to correct the findings presented. The board has prepared a corrective action plan and it is included in our audit report as exhibit number 15. Are there any other questions? And as always, I'd like to thank Ms. Zerlot and Ms. Simpson for their help. They're always wonderful and their staff is very knowledgeable and it makes our job a lot easier.
Thank you very much for that good audit report. And as always, we'll keep working on a couple of schools, but we also want to congratulate Ms. Simpson, Ms. Zerlot, and their staffs for a great audit report. Thanks to everybody. And I see more members of the staff back there, but thank you so much for your work. It's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Action item G2. This was a resolution that we're requesting that you approve to get a deed corrected for the Crichton property. It was a trade back and forth between the state and Crichton, and we need to go ahead and get that approved so we can sell the property as we had discussed in previous board meetings.
Mr. Chairman? I move for approval action items G2 through 21. And you might want to explain more.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve items G2 to G21. And just for those that might not know, we have a work session. We'll discuss each one of these items. So we're ready to vote if we have a question. So have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next area on the agenda is consent agenda. We present to you for your consent out-of-county travel, H1.
Mr. Chairman? Move for approval action items H1 and 2.
Have a motion? Wait a second.
Second.
Have a motion and second to approve items H1 and 2. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Action item I, student expulsions. We present student expulsions for your approval 1 through 5.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve action item I-1 through 5.
Second.
Motion and second for approval, items I-1 through 5. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
We present for information in J1, monthly financial statements, and J2, purchase orders of $5,000 and over. And that concludes the action items that we're presenting to you tonight.
Any other items for discussion? Old business? Board superintendent requests?
I just have one request. I'd like, in regards to Maine Middle School, Ms. P. I understand that there are 11 units that will be given for Maine Middle School, but no reading. And I just was concerned about the reading, since that's one of the major problems that we're having at that school. So we could discuss that at another time.
You know, we have supplemented the teacher allocation at Eames for several years because of the size of the school. But certainly I can ask Academic Affairs, Ms. Moore, and them to work with you in looking at how those units are being allocated.
We appreciate that. And she's shaking her head, so we must be an approval. Thank you very much, Ms. Warren. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any pending matters? Attorney-client privilege?
Sent an email to the board last Friday regarding the proposed suspension agreement that we'd like the board to consider.
I read it, and hopefully the rest of the board did too. I move approval for the agreement that the attorney has provided to us in an email.
I second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the
Agreement.
with the attorney.
Agreement.
Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Scheduling of meetings. Dr. Foster, we talked, kind of talked a while ago about changing the time of our meetings for the rest of the summer from the 6 o'clock time to 1 o'clock, maybe the next 3 meetings until our October meeting. Board meeting.
Regular board meetings.
Yeah, regular board. Since we don't have a lot of recognitions, we'll just kind of think that up every year, or,
I don't see why not.
okay. Anybody?
Well, I think it'd be a good idea. It'd probably be really good for the staff here, so that they wouldn't have to hang around in the summer.
It'd be good for us
Smiles
to.
on some faces. Did I hear an amen there?
Mr. Big, don't we also have a special call meeting coming up sometime?
July the 8th at 12 o'clock, and that is, well, it's not a special call meeting, but it's a work session to talk about charter schools.
So I was noticing that we had very few teachers who were placed this time, personnel placements. And I didn't know if we were going to, it was very few, and I thought perhaps we might have. I know that the personnel assistants have been away recently at workshops, and I didn't know if we would want to, or if HR would want to have some of those by that time, or, you know, I just thought I'd bring that up. That's not.
What I'll do is check, and if you're gonna be here for a work session on charter schools on the 8th, at 12, we can certainly see what we need to do about having a special call meeting for personnel items.
I think Dr. Foster's exactly right. If we can expedite these. Anytime, Brian, you guys, get some that you're ready to go, it's no sense in waiting around.
You'll have some. Okay, well, what we can do, if it's all right with you, we'll have the work session, it's scheduled for 12. Do you want to have 11:30, have a special call meeting for personnel items?
That seems.
Thanks,
that would
Dr.
be-
Foster. Sure. We'll do that. So it'll be special call meeting on the 8th for personnel items.
you said at 11:30?
11:30?
Important time.
I'll send Ms. Chambers a reminder.
Mr. Parker.
It'll be in your Friday report.
That's right.
Your
Quentin,
Thursday.
hey, we're not here, it's Quentin's fault.
Whitney, you taking these notes down? Let's go.
Hey, Quentin got you on TV.
Yeah, I forgot we're on TV, it'll be Quentin's fault.
Right.
All right, any other items for the board?
Well, I get to do this before,
Better be if he's texting me now.
is it? I move for adjournment.
Second.
Have motion second to adjourn, all in favor?
Uh,
Adjourn.